Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. Can somebody just drop in the text message in the chat form if you all can hear me? Okay, great. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kamini Mari, your host for this enlightening and engaging English webinar for the month of August. It is my pleasure to lead you through this virtual meeting on a very impactful and educative topic of treating the psychological and physical negative impacts of children's sexual abuse through voice dialogue and internal family system therapy. Today, we are fortunate to have a renowned speaker with us who is expert in his field and will generously share his knowledge and practical experiences with us. Allow me to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Edward Chan, who owns PhD in Psychology, Master of Science in Learning, Master in Nutritional Medicine, and Bachelor of Science of Honors in Psychology. Dr. Edward is also a board-certified sex and couple therapist, Fellow of the Malaysian Association of Psychotherapy, board member of the International Society for Psychotherapy, Counseling and Psychiatry, and Fellow of the World Council for Psychotherapy. Not only that, Dr. Edward is also an invited speaker by LPPKM, Ministry of Women and Social Unity, Family Health Forum, an invited speaker for the 9th World Congress for Psychotherapy, a keynote speaker for the International Psychotherapy, Counseling and Psychiatry Conference, and an invited speaker for the 37th European Psychiatry Conference on couple schema chemistry. In addition to that, Dr. Edward has also touched many people's lives through his writing. He is the author of Love May Not Be Enough and co-author of Handbook of the Current Research and Practices on Cognitive Behavioral Therapy in Asia. Many of his works have been published in various publications, such as in the Journal for Reattached Therapy and Developmental Diversities, Journal Cognitive Theory and Research, and also in the International Journal of Psychiatry. Not forgotten, he is also accredited as reattached therapist and accredited Amen clinical therapist. As mentioned previously, Dr. Edward's expertise and experience in the field of psychology are truly remarkable. His competencies, training, and exposure to the field are rich sources of knowledge and inspiration. I'm going to take a moment to see whether is there anyone waiting to join this webinar. Just give me a moment. All right. So while we are waiting for Doctor, let me just do a little bit of introduction. Researchers have looked for studies to be published in the United States since 1992, and they reported that rates of sexual abuse among children, and they came up with an alarming statistic number where 1 in 10 children will be the victim of sexual abuse before their 18th birthday. This is quite alarming and frightening. Well, sexual abuse is more common than many can realize. 1, because it is difficult to be identified, and 2, because it is always underreported. So today we are going to speak about treating the psychological and physical negative impacts of children's sexual abuses through voice dialogue and internal family system therapy. First, it is important to know that what is sexual abuse and how it affects children emotionally and physically. The term that we use in this webinar is child sexual abuse, which is defined as the involvement of children in sexual activities that they cannot fully comprehend and to which they cannot consent because of their early stage of development. In simpler terms, children are used for adult sexual stimulation or gratification. This is the topic and the content that we're going to dive into. I'm going to wait for Doctor. Doctor is not here yet. So let me just check one more time if anyone is waiting outside. Okay, meanwhile, if participants have any questions or you want to share any contents regarding children sexual abuse, or many of you might be psychologists, so please feel free to post your questions in the chat forum here. I think we would be able to connect to Doctor now. Hello, Doctor, can you hear us?
Hi, Kamini.
Hello, Doctor.
Oh, you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We wouldn't be able to see your video yet, though.
Right. I will review myself shortly.
Okay, okay. Sure, Doctor, sure. Well, I was just doing...
But everyone is...
Sorry, Doctor? All right. While we are waiting for Doctor, do audience have any contents or any sharings, any questions on this? Just feel free to post. Well, I just shared a very alarming statistic, all right? Sorry, Doctor, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Just asking whether everyone is in touch with the authentic selves already or not so much.
Well, Doctor, I think at this stage, it's too early for them to understand your question.
No worries. We will explain and review all.
All right. Well, actually, for the audience, the question that Dr. Edward asked was actually a joke, and it's like highly related to the content today. Yeah. Well, Dr. Edward going to explain on that, but let's start with the basic thing first. Doctor, assessing the impact of child sexual abuse is very complex and challenging. So can you share with us what sort of negative impacts that arise in terms of both a physical and psychological aspects?
Well, there are a number of what we call child core needs, right? As a child, for those of you who have experience of bringing up children or working with children, and maybe Uma, if you're around, can share, or even Dr. Natalie has some of these cards that we use for patients, right? We call it children childhood core needs, right? Children core needs. And one of it is, of course, emotional and physical safety, right? We expect to be, for these basic needs to be provided, especially by our caregivers, right? And if we don't get this as a child, then yes, that will be the negative consequences for sure, right? And we are talking about the psychological ones, right? And also the other needs is nurturing, right? So we're not talking about physical nurturing, but emotional nurturing, right? So there's a famous experiments done with monkeys, right? Whereby this bunch of monkeys that were given food and shelter, right? Well, there are two groups of monkeys, right? For those that were given food and shelter, but no petting, no the physical contact. Yeah, they just wasted away and die. And there's also I mean, this is not an experiment, but there is group of orphans. Which country was it? No, I think it's in Romania, if I'm not wrong. It's called the famous Romanian orphans. right? It's not an experiment. I mean, it would be very unethical to do this experiment. But this group of orphans, they were fed and enclosed, but they were not due to the harsh environment, right? They were not given any nurturance, and they grew up to have a lot of psychological disorders. So we, yes, for sure, when you are abused sexually, you don't feel safe, and as a result, that there would be a lot of psychological impacts, right, and disorders, and we can talk a little bit about the dynamics of this, right? How this come about, and with that, hopefully some strategies on recovery and rehabilitation.
Right. Thank you, Doctor. So, Doctor, from what I know, some of the physical impacts are such as
right.
Let's say you want to name some?
Well, yes. The physical impacts.
I guess headache.
Well, yes, because at the end of the day, that there is an intimate connection between physical and psychological, for sure, right? So there are a lot of bodily sensations. There's a famous book written by what's his name? Van Bassel and something. It's called "The Body Keeps a Score," right?
Yes.
So our body, right, keeps hold a memory, even though maybe consciously we have forgotten about the abuse, the trauma, but your body carry all the symptoms, right? It's called the body keep the score. So yes, so this is also one of our technique that we use, the launching pad into this system,
right,
that we will be talking about for the treatment and rehabilitation. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just to sum up, Doctor, so I believe the physical impacts are such as like headache, backache, gastrointestinal issues.
Right. And all sort of anxiety.
Right.
So
when we go to psychological symptoms, totally.
Indeed, indigestions, and
totally.
A few palpitation, panic attack. Indeed. Yes.
Doctor, so both these physical and psychological impacts, right? Can we understand if they are left untreated?
Yes.
What are the lasting effects on children's?
You mean more psychological or
psychologically?
Psychological. Well, I mean, to a very simple one would be, for example, the mistrust, right, of others, depending on whether the abuser were man or woman, maybe there were a mistrust of men, right? So it would impact on their formation of committed relationship, for
right.
sure, right? That would be a obvious one. And the other one would be, so we are now talking a little bit about some of the psychological terms, right? So there's something called schema, right? Again, Huma, if you're still around, you can show some of the schema cards, Dr. Natalie. Right, schema are like psychological program or even full personality that are developed to protect the child, right? When something happens, such as sexual abuse. So one of the possible schema that develop would be defectiveness. All right. So the idea here is, why is it protective, right? So the question is, why is a defectiveness schema be protective, right? And one of the reasons, why do you think, any of you think that it could be protective? Would any one of you want to try to guess? Why would so a defectiveness schema is the schema, the program to think that I'm defective, right?
Mhm.
I'm no good, I'm not worthy. Why
Mhm.
would that be protective of a child that were abused? So Michael said to the what is my Michael
Let
say?
me take a Michael just answered to protect from anxiety and for self-esteem.
Yeah, but how is that protective, right? Yes, you are right in that sense, Michael. But we want to understand why is it protective. Anyone have any idea? If not, I will share with you my formulation. It is protective simply because we are reliant, right, on the caregivers, on the adults, right? We are reliant. The child is reliant on them, right, to provide the physical, even the emotional nurturing. And now, when we are abused by them, right? If we think, all right, that there's something wrong with them, something very bad, has occurred with them. Now that is very threatening because that
Mhm.
will mean that we cannot rely on them. So instead of doing that, then we inverse, right? The what we call introjection. We inverse the attribution of this defectiveness to the abuser to ourselves, right? So it's nothing wrong with them, something wrong with me. That's why I was abused, right? So that's how it protects the child. You get it?
Yes, yes,
It is
doctor. Dr.
yeah,
Natalie just shared.
reverse psychology, if you like. Yeah.
That's true. And
Uh-huh.
Dr. Natalie just shared here that protective cells will be considered in their style of living with the mindset. Um, I couldn't understand the question, but Dr. Natalie, can you, sorry, enlighten us further on what you're trying to ask?
Oh, okay. I mean, like just now, Dr. Edward asking about the protective cell. So if because abused before, so how the mindset, there were difference of the handling their own emotional part towards to the lifestyle in their life. So that means the mindset may be, oh, okay, this kind of people cannot that means he or she maybe is not won't be mingle around with this kind of people, so you'll be introvert. Then so the mindset may be because still kids, so you keep on brought up until maybe until the
Yes.
teenager.
Yeah. So as a result of this schema, right? Then we develop various coping mechanism, coping behavior, which is I think what you're talking about. So some might be very introverted, detached, not wanting to mingle with others, right? Because they feel that they are defective, that they're not worthy, right? That so with that coping behavior, this is something you can see. Whereas with the scheme program, we might not be able to see them as such. I think you
Because
guys
cannot.
can you hear me? I see you guys are frozen a little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah, it lagged a bit, but
Yes.
now it's okay.
Mm,
Thank
right.
you, doctor.
Yeah.
So, doctor, before diving further on today's therapy approaches, what are the many therapeutic approaches commonly applied when working with child victims from sexual abuse?
Well, I guess one of the most popular type of approach is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? I have the good fortune or misfortune, not sure, of being I climbed was able to climb the Great Wall of China, with Dr. David Clark, right? Professor David Clark, rather. He's one of the pioneer of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I attended a conference. I did training with him. So CBT is very popular all over the world, right? It's one
It
of the
is.
most evidence-based type of psychotherapy. but actually that is a little bit due to an accident of history because David was giving a lecture, and next room to him was the labor some sort of minister, forgot who, I think, and he heard about his very good lecture and awarded him a multi-million-dollar grants for CBT, right? And all the other therapists were jumping up in arms at that time. That was quite a number of years ago, and CBT was rolled out in England, and that is partly because of that, but they have done, to be fair, a lot of good research for short outcome study, effective work. So CBT is used in a lot of different type of psychological disorders, including working with children who suffer from sexual abuse, right? But the technique essentially is like say, for example, the child is experiencing some panic attack or even suicidal tendency, then the technique essentially is to
address the presenting issues.
Yeah, and gets the like say the inner critic, right? Criticizing the child to like back off, and reframe it with healthy thoughts, right? So you further want to alienate the critical voices, right? So that is the approach. So what we want to talk about today is a radically different type of
approaches. Correct.
Yeah,
correct, doctor.
Because when you do that, we feel that you would in fact reinforce, right, the shame, the defectiveness idea, because the child or even the adult would already feel bad, about doing various presenting symptom, and you ask them to reframe that, so they would feel that, why am I thinking like this, right? These are all bad thoughts, and I should change them. So you further alienate a lot of the presenting symptoms, right? So I mean, yeah, I mean, I have practiced CBT, they have good outcome, but then the approach we feel is contraindicated for some of these issues, and we want to propose some new approach today.
Thank you, doctor. So you did touch about the next content, where we are going to look into the terms of therapeutic approaches that's highlighted in today's webinar: voice dialogue and internal family system therapy. So voice dialogue is a process that was created by psychologists Hall and Sidra Stone, and the theory suggests that various parts of self coexist within each of us and determine our thoughts, behaviors, and relationship with others. Can you enlighten us further on this concept?
Yeah, and maybe we can ask Uma to show us some of the hallmark books by Houston. I have the good fortune of being trained personally by Tama Stone, who's the daughter of Houston. I went to Boulder.
I see.
In where is it, Michael? Boulder, some northern part where the grizzly bear is, in Northern America, beautiful place. Yes, so the Houston was, I mean, he recently passed away. He was a Jungian, right? Carl Gustav Jung, who was the disciple of the father of psychotherapy, Sigmund Freud, and of course he fell out of Freud. So he came up with the idea that we have Freud. I mean, not even Freud, right? Have subconscious, and Jung certainly have the idea that we all have shadows.
Yes.
Right. and our shadow follow us. So the more we try to disown our shadow, right? So there's a branch of psychotherapy called shadow work, right? Which is a very Jungian thing. So the idea is, the more we try to disown our shadow, the more they come to haunt us. So rather than disowning our shadow, housework is about embracing our
Right.
shadows. So to be aware of our shadows. So take a very simple example. Who are the people you admire and who are the people that you hate, right? These are strong terms. And if you list out the qualities for why you admire them and why you hate them, well, these are your shadows.
Yeah, I remember
So-
you did this activity in one of our lesson session.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, Kamani is a very dear graduate, and so naturally as well, of our professional certification courses. Yes. So that is the idea, right? So we many of us have this own selves, right? That
Okay.
we try to suppress, and we the way to recognize it is who are the people that qualities that we admire and qualities that we try to get away from, right?
Correct.
And by the way, if you're married to someone or go out with someone and you admire them, fall in love with them, is probably they are your disowned selves.
Disowned.
So
Right.
yeah, so we can't get away from that, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
So while that was explaining the voice dialogue, internal family system is based upon the idea that every person has multiple sub-personalities which can be conflict with one another. Am I right to
Well,
say that?
I mean, so to that extent that there are similarities between voice dialogue and internal family system, we shorten that as IFS. Right. So same thing with as voice dialogue, we have all these own cells, right?
Okay.
We also have multiple cells, right? Many of them we are disowned, for others, the more we are aware of them, the more that we might be able to have a choice, right? It is I think the founder of IFS is a psychiatrist called Richard Schwartz, right? And I think he has published a book called No Bad Parts, right?
No
So
bad
why voice dialogue has a similar idea? There's no bad cells, right?
Yes.
So every cell is valuable depending on the situation, right? Like even Christ, he can surface his angry self in the holy rage, we call it in some temple when they were doing business, right? So even Christ can get angry at a certain situation, right? So there's no bad cells, no bad parts in that way, that both this system would agree on that, right? So yeah. So the so what then how do we use this system is the question, right? So to give you a bit of a background with IFS, Richard was trained as a family therapist, right?
Family therapist.
And yeah, and family therapies is part of what we call systemic therapy, right?
Yes.
It was founded by Salvador Minuchin and Virginia Satir. So the belief that the family is like a system, right? So what Richard was trying to do in the early 80s was to do a research, of what they call in psychology, we always have this outcome study research, we try some therapy, compare with other therapy and see the outcome. So he's trying to find a bunch of bulimic children, having bulimia, right? And then try to rearrange the family system, right? So maybe have a better relationship with mother or something. But then to his surprise, the patient, the bulimic child, failed to realize that they were cured, as he put it.
Sorry, doctor?
Failed to realize that they were in fact cured and still have these symptoms of bulimia, right? It was a joke by Richard.
I see.
Then he he realized that they still have this very critical voice in them, this critical self. So then he thought that the system rather than external was internal, right? So the child has developed this highly critical, just same as a child who was sexually abused,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the defective self, right? That is highly critical self. For example, calling her names, you slut, you whore, good
Mm-hmm.
for nothing. That highly critical voice would be there, and then maybe the child will feel very ashamed, very bad, and may get into addiction or even ultimately suicide, right? Can
Right.
happen, or they do self-cutting.
Okay.
So there's this multiple selves, and even the suicidal self is what Richard called a firefighter self. It is also
Firefighter self.
strangely enough protective.
Yeah, actually, that was going to be my next question. So, would you
Right.
agree if we call that suicidal self is also has a value to offer to the person?
Totally. And what do you think is the value?
To end the suffering, to not to be in
Right.
vulnerable position.
Exactly. Right. Because the suffering is this immense emotional pain, whether shame of the defectiveness, and so first of all, there's a hierarchy of cells of what Richard called managers, right? That the manager cells maybe to like be more perfect, perfectionistic self, to toe the line, and or some OCD self, very obsessive, unrelenting standard, whatnot. And when this fail, right, and the triggers do come, and the person feel defective, still feel ashamed, especially given various stressor in the relationship, in the environment, then ultimately the firefighter cell surface, right? And in order to like a firefighter in real life, you try to do some extreme action to hopefully save the building, right? Yeah, maybe jump out or something. So suicide would be that final act of protecting.
Saving. Protecting.
Yes.
Very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
But before that, there would be a whole list of other management system, from bulimia to right, self-cutting,
Right.
and a whole host of it. Some might have fling, sexual addiction. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes.
Thank you. Doctor, I have a very interesting question, and actually I'm very curious to hear your answer for this. Both voice dialogue approach and IFS therapy was not really originally brought in as trauma recovery process per se. It was brought in as a curious consciousness expanding process that was designed to improve relationship. I'm curious that how go on, doctor.
Yeah, you're very right. In fact, Houston would not want voice dialogue to be a therapy, because for him it is a self
discovery.
Well, it's a self evolution, right?
Evolution.
For him, you can't give a certificate to say that you are more highly evolved as a result of being trained by me, right? So for that reason, Houston refused to actually give certification. Although I have got trained by a doctor and his daughter and everything, and he refused to have it that training to be certified as a psychotherapy method. Whereas maybe because of his background, Richard Schwartz fully embraced IFS to be a therapy technique and method, right? I have asked Tama, what was the actual influence of each other. I have so far failed to get a definitive answer. I'm very curious, whether they know of each other's work, and then because there's so much in parallel, but yes. I can also see some differences, right? Which we can go into today. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's true. So IFS is more than voice dialogue. has evolved to be recommended as a therapeutic practice, right? I
Okay.
mean, yes, voice dialogue is also a therapeutic practice, and you use it for clients and patients as well, right? But
Mhm.
there's this reluctance
I see.
from the tradition, yeah.
Traditional
And I
traditional
must say,
approaches.
yeah,
Mhm.
but yet, right? In one of the conference a couple of years ago, I went to Warsaw, right, in the
Mhm.
European Psychiatric Conference, and they were talk about this introduction of this therapy called avatar therapy, which was
Avatar
very
therapy. Yes.
very interesting, and it was totally influenced by voice dialogue, right? In avatar
Mhm.
therapy, it was a therapy used to work with schizophrenia, right?
Yes.
Without any medication. It is they have
Yeah.
published outcome study very successfully. So how it works is the therapist create an avatar of the abuse, right, of the abuser, right, for the patient, together with the patient, and then the patient have a series of encounter, with the facilitation and help of the therapist to stand up against the avatar, the abuser avatar, and it was hugely empowering and successful, so much so that the schizophrenic patient recovered without medication, and that
That's
was
very impressive, actually.
and that a lot of that is from voice dialogue, all right,
Right. Right.
multiple cells. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. And now,
No worries.
can you show us how would you treat the psychological impacts of children's sexual abuse through voice
Right.
dialogue and IFS? And can we do this in a role play, Doctor?
Yeah, that definitely. Maybe you can be one of the patient coming in,
Yeah.
either yourself or for one of your patient, right?
Okay.
So
I take a role play of the patient here who has been
yeah,
abused as a child from
right,
sexual abuses. Okay.
sure, okay. So if you can you can close your eyes or spend a moment getting in touch, right, with yourself. Um, just be aware of some of the time when you were triggered, right? When you were triggered, where you felt something on your body, maybe something like shame or effectiveness or whatever, right? That you were triggered, right? So get in touch with that, and then get in touch with what were your impulse, what were you then feel like doing when that happened.
So this is not during the moment, this is after the moment is over and I get triggered based on.
Exactly, like even recently, maybe there were moment when you were triggered, and then what were your impulse, what did you feel like doing?
I wanted to stop whatever I was doing and go to a safe place, and I felt like that immediate place that I was being is not safe.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So what is the some of the practical
Examples?
no, I mean practical impact, right? When that happens, you immediately detach or something. So what is the impact in your life when that happens?
Impacts of life seems a bit
Yes.
generalized. So can I say that I'm scared to get to know with new people? I'm scared that I'm not safe with them.
Exactly. So this is what we call the maladaptive, if you like, some maladaptive, we call it the mode, the maladaptive mode, right? So it was initially protective, right? It is like someone living in I don't know, in Ukraine now, right? And so very unsafe, probably still, I don't know what's the situation now, but say we transfer them to Malaysia, it's no more war, nothing, but they're still be very vigilant, and right. So their protective, once protective coping is now maladaptive. Right?
Okay. Because this protective version is now telling me that, hey, you cannot get to know with new people.
Exactly. You cannot trust them, right? And all that, right? So
Mhm.
now we are dealing with different parts of you, right?
Mhm.
Different selves of you, okay?
Mhm.
This manager cell wanting to protect that hurt child, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Is in operation when you are triggered, right?
Mhm.
Get you away,
Mhm.
protect you, right?
Mhm.
So now if you close back your eyes, we will
Mhm.
do a role play. Then
Mhm.
I would ask you, right? First of
Mhm.
all, to check in with this manager, right? Wanting to get you
Mhm.
away, right? And thank her, or him, because they can be either gender,
Mhm.
for the valuable job,
Mhm.
he or she has been doing for you, protecting this vulnerable child, right?
Mhm.
To
Mhm.
thank him or her, and
Mhm.
but at the same time also tell her, or I'm going to just use her, yeah, that that she can now trust you, right? She can now trust you as the healthy, authentic self, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Can
yeah, that
can I
that that
try that dialogue, doctor, now, based on
yeah,
what you
yeah,
just
right,
guided
right,
me? Okay.
exactly, do that, yes,
Okay. So you just guided me to okay. So I'm going to do that
yeah,
script, right?
right, right,
Hey,
right.
protector self. Thank you so much for protecting me. And when I was like about to get to know with a guy, you came there and say that, hey, be careful. He might be harming you, and you might be going through what you went through once. Thank you so much for being there. I understand you want to protect me, but I also want you to know that you can trust me, that I can take some decision based on how I comprehend the current information and I feel
Well,
it is safe.
you can trust me to look after this vulnerable child
You,
that was
oh, okay, okay.
abused, right? I've got her back
Mhm.
now, right? Thank you for all your protection, but you can trust me to take over your job. You still have a job, right? But I want you to
Mhm.
maybe find a new role, some new energy. You still come along
Mhm.
the right when I meet this new guy, but don't like take over. Right?
Okay, so
Yes,
now I am speaking to the protector self, and at the
exactly,
same time,
exactly.
I'm
Yes.
acknowledging that victim child there,
Yeah.
the
So
abused
so
child.
so we don't want to speak directly to the victim child yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we
Mm-hmm.
want to speak to the manager first, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
if we speak to the victim child without validating the manager is going to sabotage it, right? She's going to come in and say,
Right. Got it.
no,
Okay.
this is not on. So you need to, just like when you work with a family, you see some protector, maybe the father or something, you need to get him like away from the eye view of the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because it's
Mm-hmm.
maybe highly critical or something like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so this, yeah, you speak to this manager first and give him a new
Okay.
job function.
Okay, so I just said that, hey, but you can trust me now that I would be able to take care of this abused child,
Vulnerable child. Yeah, exactly,
vulnerable child.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, abused child. Yeah,
Okay, and what happened next, doctor?
but tell him, yeah. So we validate her work,
Mm,
right?
okay,
Yeah, but tell her at the same time that you're still needed. You're still
mm,
wanted. You can come
mm-hmm,
along. We are not like locking you down in some dungeon, right?
mm-hmm,
Because remember, we don't want you to become a shadow. Then
mm-hmm.
that would become again dysfunctional, right? So you can come along, but you trust me to take care of this vulnerable child. You
Okay,
might even check with the manager how old do you think the vulnerable child is, and that might, you know, tell you a certain age, you know,
Yeah.
6 or 7 or something like that, right?
For example, if I'm asking, hey, protector self, how old you think you are? So most likely the protector self going to answer that I have been there ever since she has been abused. So I'm as old as her abusive years.
Right. Yeah. So something like that, and how old do you think the vulnerable child is, and the protector might say, thought that the child is frozen in time, is still 7-year-old or 6-year-old, right? So after that, then you can talk to check in with the vulnerable child, the abused child, right?
Okay. So this is
Yeah.
another self that we are going to have a dialogue session now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Right.
Okay. So I allow the doctor to facilitate me.
Yeah. So try to like sense her, right? See her. Some people cannot see, but they can have a felt sense, right? Of how close the child is, right? And so can you like have some sort of sense how near or far the
I'm 6 years
child
old.
is? Yeah, right. So you can like sense she's nearby or something.
Yes.
Or yeah. Okay. So tell her, right? You're there for her now, right? You're there.
Okay.
You got her back, right?
Okay. So I'm saying that, hey, little 6 years old girl, I
Yes.
know what you went through, and I want you to know that I'm here now. It's not gonna happen again because I'm here to take care of you.
Exactly. I'm going to protect you, right? Right. And you might even want to like revisit, you know, some of the abuse scenes, right? To to do what we call a rescripting.
Right. Well, I have read your papers that you is it rescripting, also some imaginary work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that, right? So you can do that, and then you can do some of the changes in the memory, right? For this vulnerable self, right?
How can you give me?
Yes.
Sorry, doctor.
Yes.
Can you give one example? If let's say I can give you an example of my memory, how would you be able to rescript this, doctor?
Right. So say for example, right? I will get the permission, right, to go back into that memory with you, and maybe see the abuser, right? And I will stand between you, or rather as no. So this is hence the difference in technique talking about this, right? So there's another form of therapy called schema therapy, where the therapist would go in and do the protecting, but in this case, right, I would use your authentic self, your healthy self to do that. You know, I will get you to stand in between the vulnerable child, right, and the abuser, right? So literally do that, and then right, as the child, what you want to do, right? The child might say, take me out of here, or go and some child might say go and punch him or something, right? Or tell him off, right? So I mean, yeah. So we would do this supportive role there, which you know, originally did not happen.
Got it. So am I safe to say that the factual data still remain the same, but the intensities of emotion and victimization is what
Well,
changing?
we are rescripting the data.
The data, even the factual data.
yeah, we are restricting that, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
so the mind is very powerful, right?
Mhm,
So when we restrict, we change the narrative, we change the story, we change the data, then we change the memory. It's a bit like Harry Potter, right? You have this bit of memory, and then you put a new memory in it, and right. So then
Technically, yeah.
yeah, so then you would change the psychological impact, right? That you
Mhm,
were asking when we do that, right? So that would be how we do it, and
mhm,
and we would then have a self maintenance piece as well
mhm,
for the patient,
mhm,
right? To continuously check in, right? With the vulnerable child, on a regular basis to
mhm,
tell her that, yeah, I've got your back, right?
mhm,
Whatever happens, and tell the manager, look, right?
mhm,
Yeah, if
mhm,
things get a bit dicey, you can trust me. I got her back, right? So
mhm,
you have this checking in on a regular basis, right? So
mhm,
say
mhm,
you meeting a new guy, you have a
mhm,
date later today. So in the morning you check in, right, with
mhm,
both of them, right?
mhm,
So yeah, yeah, when to tonight, yeah.
mhm.
So don't worry, right? Tell the manager you can come along, but don't.
Wow, wow. This is basically living your daily life with so much of awareness and conscious, right,
Exactly,
doctor?
exactly.
Mm-hmm,
Yes,
mm-hmm.
yes, yeah.
Also, when you were narrating the technique, one thing that I could understand is, apart from all the therapeutic and healing intervention, I also sense that you're giving some sort of ownership for this patient to do something which they seems like they perceive as helpless situation.
Right, exactly,
Mm-hmm,
exactly. See, this is what the Howson called this own self, and Richard Schwartz call them the exiles,
mm-hmm,
right? So
mm-hmm,
so it is a double whammy, right? When you have the exile, you have this defective, vulnerable self, and then you're sent into exile. You're locked away. So that reinforce the shame and
mm-hmm.
and that's why you have the firefighter coming along, right?
Right, right.
And unfortunately, some modality like we mentioned, CBT, they might unwittingly reinforce this dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm,
That
mm-hmm,
you're not that there's something dysfunctional about you. You are
mm-hmm,
you know um, not welcome. You need to
mm-hmm,
be reframed. So
mm-hmm,
but here in these techniques, we are recognizing,
mm-hmm,
embracing, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um Bring them into the the consciousness, right?
mm-hmm,
So in Dick's formulation, right?
mm-hmm,
When life is good and everything go well, um then then the person might not even uh be aware that there are like many different parts,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But that I might say quite rare, right? So most of us were aware there are different parts of us. Right?
Do you think most of us are aware of this, doctor?
Yeah, I mean we have like conflicts and
Mm,
dialogue with
mm-hmm,
ourselves,
mm-hmm,
we reprimand ourselves,
mm-hmm,
what a jerk I've been, why did I say that? Yeah, it is this is in everyday's everyone's experience, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um so but in some people it can go more extreme, right? To the extent, maybe not a full psychological disorder like addiction or the self-harm, but and by the way, there's high correlation, of course, between sexual abuse and addiction, depression, right? We're talking about the negative impact, these are the negative impacts, but now we recognize them as the managers,
Right.
They're doing all this maladaptive coping as a way to manage the emotional pain, right? Of the abused child. Yeah. So we do all this daily maintenance, meditation, if you like, right? To the increase awareness, and so that we are more flexible, more to have better choices when we encounter various stressors in our lives, right? Yes.
This is so fulfilling. I think that's the right word, as a victim, whatever I perceive as a helpless situation, but now I'm given an opportunity to address, to acknowledge, and to do something about it. And I'm no more in a helpless situation. It's truly very fulfilling. Doctor, we have a question from our audience here. Dr. Natalie just asked, may I know after abuse is intense fear and tension, but there is nobody notice or knowing it, never share out, but from the character of living can knowing there is something goes wrong. How are we going to lead her on? Sorry, Dr. Natalie, are you trying to say that the person who has been involved in the abuse didn't aware of the fear and tension, but the people around her can notice it and how they can help? Is that the question? Okay, all right, doctor. So would you like to answer this?
Yes, that brings the whole another dimension of this piece, which is our relationship, right? So very often, in fact, the abuse person would be attracted to a partner who are abusive, right? So that's that's probably we need to do another webinar on that topic itself. But
recreating my cycle of drama.
but in a nutshell, right? Very quickly, and this is the intention of another form of therapy called imagotherapy, right? By Havel and Hendricks, whereby we are attracted, right, to the person that have the negative qualities of our parents. So if our parents or caregivers, the abuser, we will be attracted to that. And the reason for that, I think you might know the answer, Kamini. I've mentioned it several times.
Yes.
What
believe because the healing work has not been done earlier. So we just want the healing to be done. So we recreate the entire situation.
Right. So we subconsciously recreate the whole.
Doctor, sorry, you muted yourself. Yes.
Yes.
Hear you now. Yeah.
All right. Someone was trying to call me. Sorry. Yes. So yeah, that happens, and
yeah, the line is breaking, doctor. Sorry.
Kamini, just now doctor saying that what is a therapy? What's the name? Ima what just now?
Imagotherapy.
Imago. How to
Imago? IMAGO.
M-A-G-O. Imagotherapy.
Yes.
And the other piece.
Doctor's line is a bit breaking. Doctor, sorry, we can't hear you. The connection is breaking.
Chat box.
Oh, is it anything in chat box?
Can you?
No, we can't hear you yet. The line is still breaking. Okay, I think Dr. re-entering. Dr. Natalie, you get the
So just now you mentioned the imago therapy is one individual therapy. That means like other CPT or various
yes. Yes, if not mistaken, but I'm going to allow Dr. Edward to answer that. Dr. Natalie is a bit interested to understand about imago therapy.
Yeah, basically, imagotherapy was founded by Ivo Hendricks, and no, it is a little bit similar to psychodynamic therapy, in the sense that, you know, again, same thing. We have a lot of unmet needs, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. As a child, we didn't give these needs met, no, because there's a new book published. Or recently, I forgot who's the author, but it's something like emotionally immature parents, right? So a lot of us have emotionally immature parents. So we are parentified, right? So because of that, there were a lot of unmet needs, right? Growing up with these emotionally immature parents or whatever parents, and as a result, we are attracted to partners who of course, all these are subconscious, who have these similar negative traits of like being emotionally unavailable or even abusive, right? And so the idea of why we do that is so that there's another chance to then work this out, because we didn't manage to work it out with our original caregiver. So now with this marriage and relationship, you know, we hope to work it out, and that's why this attraction. So the intention is good, right? It's for personal development, but then unfortunately, many couples are not aware of that, and they get into a lot of projections, right? You know, and unmet needs get recycled, and they go from relationship to relationship with the same bad outcome, until ultimately they see a therapist to help them sort all this out. But that will be another story. So there's hope, right? But on your own, it might be a bit difficult if it goes on this unconscious cycle, and with a trained therapist, and then we can.
That is why we need you.
That's why we are all doing this work, and then we have all these courses to help.
Right.
Wonderful. Therapists. Yeah.
All right. Well, Doctor, we are actually reaching the ending. Do you want to add on anything, Doctor, to this?
Well, yes, that you know, to just to know that, you know, whenever you are triggered, you know, you are curious, you ask yourself, why did I behave like that? All these are opportunities for you to grow, right?
Yes.
So the, you know, seek therapists that are trained in these processes to help you, right? Reach out. There's always hope, right? To grow, and life's challenges are opportunities for you. You know, like in the Chinese word, Dr. Natalie, danger means opportunity, right? It's written in the Chinese character of danger. There's also opportunity. So that is how I like all of us to look at challenges, stressors in life as a growth opportunity. So the new term is, instead of post-traumatic stress, we have post-traumatic growth.
Wow. That is so good.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Doctor, I want to share this actually. In the efforts of addressing child sexual abuse, as much as it is important to keep the focus on educating children and telling them what is good touch, bad touch, and all those stuff, it is also equally important for an adult to keep learning and understand the clinical and therapeutic approaches that's available for a child who has been sexually abused. And I think International Psychology Center has been delivering that object successfully today. And in addition to that, I'm a psychology student and I'm also a psychotherapist. And I have attended therapy approaches under Dr. Edward, and Dr. Edward has used this voice dialogue and IFS system on me. And based on my personal reflection, I like these approaches. It's something that's why, like how doctor said, it's not a common therapeutic approaches. It's not commonly available everywhere. And this is something that I can access in IPC. And instead of Dr. Edward telling me that, hey, this is your problem and this is the solution, go and do it. Dr. Edward always like awake each self in me and ask me that question. So why do you think a part of you favoring this? And why do you think a part of you doesn't want this? So it's like I'm hearing myself clearly, and that's what happening in the therapy session. I have attended and I have seen the impactful of voice dialogue and IFS. Anyone of here want to try? Go and schedule your appointment with Dr. Edward. Right.
And then we have a training as well for these processes. Yes, so
amazing, Doctor.
so
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor, for answering
thank you,
all the
Kamini,
questions and for the great
for
sharing.
co-hosting this. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you for this
Nice.
opportunity.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you all. So we hope you have learned.
Thank you.
Me too. I've learned. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
So be clear, be courageous, be compassionate.
Amazing, Doctor. 3 P.
Bye-bye.
3 P.
That's it. Actually a lot more, but yeah, three for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Doctor. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Kamini.
Thank you, Dr. Natalie. See you. Bye-bye.
I'll see you. Goodbye.